What's up, everybody? Good morning. Kramzer here with Joe, and it is Good Music America. Just a quick programming note as we talked in the community post. This is going to be bi-weekly from now, just for the time being. Hopefully, we'll kick it off as back to every week, and hopefully with Jason for the time being, because he completes us. We're nothing without him. But top story. I don't know if there is one. My favorite story in the music news, though, is DMX and his casket getting toured through New York City in the back of a monster truck. And apparently it ended in the Barclays Center. What a way to go, huh?
Yeah, he's getting the full treatment here upon his tragic and far too soon death. But yeah, he paraded through New York City. He had like a big crowd around him the whole time in a casket in a monster truck. Get to the Barclays Center in Brooklyn, and a bunch of people were there. Eve, Jadakiss, Styles P, Nas, Swizz Beats, and Kanye West was sort of the big guest there. He led the Sunday service choir. So yeah, all the big names in rap kind of coming out for DMX.
Get that. Are DMX and Kanye close? Are they friends? That doesn't seem like a good pair to me for some reason.
I've never heard DMX and Kanye mentioned in the same article, paragraph, sentence. I don't think they did any collaborations together, but I don't know. I guess Kanye's the dude, so he kind of presides over all rap occurrences these days.
I wonder if this is going to be a trend, the back of the pickup tour. I would like, maybe when I go, you and Jason can get a pickup truck, go to like home plate at like Wrigley or Fenway, somewhere historic, hit one out, and then just drive me around the bases just for one last home run trot. That's how I want to go. What about you?
Trying to think of what type of car I'd want to lug my coffin around a city. Can't really think of anything. Maybe like an El Camino or something, or one of those weird Subarus that are like half pickup truck, half four-wheel drive SUV. I forget what they're called, but something really weird. I want something weird to drive me around.
You should do a DeLorean.
DeLorean.
You should get cremated and then put into the flux capacitor in a DeLorean.
There you go. That'll be the way I go. Perfect.
I'll make a note of it. All right, so good send off for DMX. Let's turn it over to some pandemic news. All politics aside, I think most of us would agree, even if you like his politics, that Ted Nugent is a bit of a nutcase. And he kind of eating his own words right now before not believing in the pandemic or like the reality of the COVID-19 virus. And now he's got corona scratch fever and has contracted it himself. So is this karma? I mean, it's unfortunate. You don't want anyone to get sick. But
I mean, yeah, kind of thing that like is going to happen when you talk about something so much and you come out against something. And I don't know exactly what he had said about coronavirus before he contracted it. I'm sure he probably poo-pooed the whole thing, said it was probably a hoax. Just knowing Ted, channeling the mind of Ted Nugent on this one, probably dismissed it out of hand. But of course, once he got it, and apparently he got it pretty bad, 10 days, he could barely get out of bed, quote, thought I was dying. So, I don't want to say it's karma because I don't know if that's a real thing and whatever, but just shows you shouldn't take these things lightly, especially if you're like Ted Nugent's age and probable health condition, like rock stars, knowing what they've done for the past 40 years. Probably should take it easy, try to avoid this thing because it could take him out pretty quick.
I didn't know he was doing that badly. I mean, that's too bad. I like Ted Nugent's music, and I really like his appearance on that '70s show back in the day. That was a good episode. All right, let's change over to another controversial human being in rock music, and this is going to be someone else that got a little bit of comeuppance by The Simpsons. Morrissey, being kind of his usual crybaby self, didn't like the way he was portrayed on The Simpsons. Benedict Cumberbatch did the voice. I thought it was hilarious. I especially love just the general way he just kind of floated around with his hands in his pockets and that overcoat, just kind of ripping on everybody in downtown Springfield. And the song, Everyone is Horrid But Me, I thought it was hilarious. I absolutely loved this. And I love that he's upset about it.
Yeah, he wants to sue The Simpsons for making fun of him, which I'm not a lawyer, but I don't think he can do that. I think there's a little thing called satire, some kind of free speech, some kind of, you can't just sue someone for making fun of you in general. Sometimes you can, but I don't think he has a case here. I don't know, he seems like just a crybaby at this point. The Smiths, his greatness, his star has certainly fallen in these past, I don't know, 15 years ago or so. I thought You Are the Quarry in 2004, I think it was probably his last, great album. So it's been a while, and now he's just sort of old and curmudgeonly and wanting to sue everyone for talking bad about him. So typical sort of rock star path, as soon as you not become famous, you kind of get moody and mean.
If it turns out you can sue people for making fun of you, we'll have to take note for some of the comments in some of our videos.
Sorry, Debbie Harry.
Yeah, speaking of that, the Blondie Week, hope you guys enjoyed it. And we just did the side 3, which was essentially artists that kind of almost ruined their legacy, never should have gotten back together. Morrissey has, like you just said, kind of accomplishing this without any aid of music or albums, just ruining his own legacy by his general disposition. It seems it's really too bad. The album he had in 2014, I didn't care for very much. I think he had an album out last year or the year before that. I think it was last year. But yeah, none of them really striking a chord with me. What else is going on in news? Live music, still trying to get back on its feet. The Save Our Stages effort hit a big snag when the website crashed, when they were finally allowed to get federal funding. Why did it take so long for them to get like specific aid from the government? I mean, restaurants got it, every sort of like hospitality venue got it, except this apparently, and that seems really odd to me.
Probably they just don't have a good lobbying group. It seems like whoever gets the best lobbyists is going to get the money first, and music, obviously the commoners care, but like our big kind of big shot Washington lobbyists really going to care about those so much? Probably not. All the restaurants have their powerful group of lobbyists, all the car companies, the airlines, the cruise lines, they all got big shot, big money behind them. It's a lot harder, I think, when you have something like music where there's so many different venues, it's so spread out. A lot of them are small. It just doesn't have the same power behind it in DC, so they're not going to get the money until, after. It looks like they are getting some, so that's good, but I think that's more of like a grassroots effort. Not so much big, powerful industry groups.
Yeah, I haven't kept my finger on it too much around Chicago, but I don't know of many major closings, and I hope there aren't any. But I will do my part once they're open to get out and pump some money into that. Other news, my boy Kurt Vile signs with Verve, his first major label signing. I'm excited with that. But with that comes a little bit of nerves that it could change his sound. You never know. I don't actually think it will, but there are instances in history where that does happen. Do you think that major signings often kind of tarnish a band, especially like talk about bands like Green Day and stuff, like early punk bands selling out? Do you think that's a thing, or is it just getting more professional and more streamlined with the sound?
No, I've never thought that was a thing. I'm always the opposite. I usually think major labels, two thumbs up, almost always improves their sound. I can't think of too many examples in history where I thought joining a major label hurt a band. I think there's some like REM where it's almost even because I like the stuff before on IRS and I like the major label stuff. If I had to pick, I don't know, probably too close to call because my favorite REM was Automatic for the People, which of course was major label, but I like the early stuff too. I don't think that hurt them. Other examples, I think Green Day was much better after they signed on to a major label. And I mean, I don't even know that many other instances. I didn't know Kurt Vile wasn't on a major label. I assumed he would have been by now. He seems to have a long career of putting out good albums, but I don't know. I have no problem with the major labels. I hate people in general who think that bands get worse when they sign to a major label.
Yeah, I kind of agree. I'm excited to see what it's going to bring. Wrapping up some more news, more somber note. Your boy, Jan Steinman, passes away, and that was did he write all of the songs on Bat Out of Hell? You would know better than me.
He did. He was the primary songwriter for Meat Loaf on that album. And then they had a big falling out, and not coincidentally, Meat Loaf didn't have a good album until they got back together in 93 or maybe. Obviously, their kind of legacies are tied together. Other than that, I don't know too much of what Steinman did, other than like a couple things for like Celine Dion. He wrote "It's All Coming Back to Me Now," which rules, and a couple for like Bonnie Tyler. But for the most part, him and Meat Loaf are really just like tied together. Their legacies. One of my all-time favorites, of course, "Bat Out of Hell," but it seemed like without Meat Loaf, without those two kind of together, that's where the magic was. And without them, when they split apart, it kind of hurt both of them a lot. Even their legacies, I think, suffered, but they'll always have "Bat Out of Hell" 1, 2, and 3. Not so much.
Oh, there's the third. Very nice. Yeah, you gotta trilogize that, I suppose. Yeah, it's too bad. And like we said before in the channel, it seems like every episode now we're gonna have a death to report. Hopefully no one next week, but a couple of quick programming notes for you guys. Hope you enjoyed Blondie Week. Upcoming this week is gonna be Supergrass. And this is just a little bit of a spoiler, going to be what a lot of you out there in lithography land always wanted, a big love fest from all three of us. We all really like Supergrass. It's going to be great. It's going to be a big pot of feel-goodery. It's going to be just a joy-a-thon. So there's not going to be hardly any bashing. So, if you've had a bum week, come out and watch us do Supergrass because it's going to be positive vibes only. And then the week after, cat out of the bag a little bit, but what do we got after Supergrass, Joe? Because you'll be excited for sure.
Yeah, I couldn't exactly remember what our schedule was because we've recorded all these things and we're recording more and sort of spread out amongst the weeks. But yes, Guns N' Roses, my boy Axl Rose. That's a fun one. It's short discography, but it's a lot of talk about, a lot of drama in that band's history. So that'll be fun. I'm looking forward. Well, I already recorded it. We already recorded it, but I'm looking forward to everyone else watching it and leaving their comments.
Yeah, I mean, is it going to be a trifecta? I mean, there's an obvious number one out in public opinion, but we do have Jason on the panel, so you never know when he's going to just throw a wrench into the properly oiled machine. Yeah, I am excited to see what everyone thinks of Guns N' Roses and Supergrass. So you got a few days to get your Supergrass listening in and a week for Guns N' Roses. And then we got a few other things in the work after that. We'll be doing, not sure exactly which week, but keep an eye out in the future for Soundgarden and The Replacements, former poll loser. coming back. So yeah, but we've got a ton of stuff in the works, obviously. But let's wrap up this episode and talk about new music. 2021 finally starting to get a more or a bigger collection and variety of albums getting pumped out. I feel like it was really in a lull a few weeks ago where there was like one thing every like week or week and a half that I was like interested in. But upcoming releases that have been announced and I'm pretty pumped for: a new Ryan Adams, Lana Del Rey doing another one, Teenage Fan Club, Black Keys. Anything on your radar other than those?
Not really, not anytime soon. I haven't really been paying attention to what the heck's coming out lately.
Well, it'll be there when you find it. What have you been listening to, and any new album reviews?
Well, of course, I did the Greta Van Fleet. If you missed that, I gave their newest one, Ballad Gardens Gate, 4 stars for my heart, 3 for my head, but I'm going with my heart. So 4 stars for that one. And the only other one I've listened to in the past couple of weeks, because there really hasn't been anything coming out that I wanted to listen to, was the latest Dinosaur Jr., Sweep It Into Space, which I know you listened to and Jason listened to. And it's tough to do this without Jason here because he's obviously the Dinosaur Jr. expert. They've won like 6 years for him in our Albums of the Year series. And we've talked a little bit via text about how he feels about like the comeback albums, which have been going on since 2005. I guess they sort of reformed. And everything I've heard kind of sounds exactly the same. Not a lot of sonic variation. This one was co-produced by Kurt Vile, your boy we just talked about, joining the major labels, and now he's producing stuff. And so I thought maybe there'd be like some kind of difference in this one. There's not. It's exactly the same as all the other ones. Just, it's a good album. Like I enjoyed it, but I can't say like this is an essential Dinosaur Jr. If you skip this one, you're not really missing out on anything. You've heard any of the other ones in the past 16 years now. Nothing new. It's exactly how you think a Dinosaur Jr.'s album would sound. This is it.
Yeah, that was kind of a messy review, but I agree with every second of it. It's a Dinosaur Jr. album. It's 3.5 stars from me. It's really good. You know, it's exactly what you think it's going to be. If you like Dinosaur Jr., you're going to like it. If you don't, you're not going to like it. It will be a hard discography for me to talk about once we do it because of those points. Like, so many albums, and it's just going to be like, yeah, there's good guitar on it, good songs. I like this one a little bit more than the next one. Like, that's about it. It's a good Dinosaur Jr. album, but they're definitely not reinventing themselves here. Kurt Vile producing, yeah, didn't make too much of a dent in the sound or the approach, but it is cool that he's on board. Hopefully he'll get his Simpsons parody sometime soon, because that's when you've made it, when you get mentioned or parodied on The Simpsons. I got a bunch more. I listened to a ton the last few weeks. I've got one that was not good at all. I don't even know why this was on my radar. I do like to get a variety of stuff, and even stuff that I'm pretty sure I will not like. This one I'm talking about is Who Am I by Pale Waves. I don't remember why this was on my list of stuff to listen to, but I did, and it's 2 stars. It's not good at all. It is this, I don't know why they advertise as a band. They should advertise as just the lead singer, because that's sort of the marketing they should go for the sound, because it's basically like they sound like a Michelle Branch or like Avril Lavigne cover band that finally started to write their own songs. It's got like that teeny bop tweener vocal style, a la like really early Taylor Swift. And everything's like over animated, like it's done by like Disney Channel stars. It's not very good. Obviously, it's not for me. I'm sure there's an audience for it. I am not the audience. So 2 stars for that. I also listened to an album called Today We're the Greatest by Middle Kids. This is their second. Pretty good. It's sort of like a big anthemic pop rock, indie pop rock. Kind of sounds like maybe a weaker Coldplay or Doves. It's kind of got that big pop sensibility, really synthetic sound. It's a bit backloaded, so the first 20 minutes or so I was not dinging it, but it's very sweet and simple. A lot of really good, just simple songs. I think you might like it. It's like they're like a really good 21 Pilots is a good way to put it, I think. So pretty good. Not a very unique sound, but just good songwriting. So I'm giving it 3 stars. I also listened to Greta Van Fleet. I was not as enthusiastic. I thought this was much better than the first one. And I thought some of the songs were decent and I like the playing. I really like the guitarist style, but this is one of the biggest cases of sabotage ever by the lead singer. I think every song is ruined by his cadence, his desire to scream every vowel like the microphone he's singing into is on the moon. Just needs to hold it back. Not everything needs to explode out of your mouth like a firework. It's just way too much. This one, yeah, like you said, I loved your review. This, obviously it was just a Zeppelin clone on the first one. This one just has classic rock influences in stride and it works, but I can't get over the singing. It's just really bad. Okay, and finally, my favorite thing I've listened to lately is going to be This Is This by Group Love. 3.5 star. The one last year was pretty mellow, but this one, they've got like a fire lit under grass, a term you're going to hear a lot when we talk about supergrass. Very spunky. I love it. Kind of vulgar and fun at times. They're like these teenage jerks. They haven't changed at all since they got popular 10 years ago. You probably know the song Tongue Tied. Back in the day, they've got a song called Shake That Ass on camera, Shake That Ass online, kind of criticizing social media and embracing it at the same time. I really dug it. It's a lot of fun. 3.5 stars. Best thing I've listened to in the last couple of weeks. So yeah, that's what I've got. But
I haven't heard the name Group Love in a while. I seem to remember kind of liking them and then just not ever listening to any of their follow-up records. So I'll have to check that one out.
yeah, I think you would like it. They don't get a lot of press. But yeah, that song was huge when it came out in like 2011. But yeah, you don't hear too much about them, but I think you would like it. I think you should check it out. But any closing thoughts on GMA, my friend?
You didn't give your star rating for the Greta Van Fleet. I'd like to know.
2. 2 stars.
2 stars.
For Greta Van Fleet's newest Battle of, what is it called? Atomic Planetary Solar Garden of the Stars.
The Battle of Gardens Gate.
Battle of Gardens Gate. Cool. 2 stars. I want to like them more. I like the effort. I wish more bands were just kind of consciously being like, we want to bring back some blues rock, but I don't want it to be them. So yeah, let's see if anyone else has it in their bloodstream to kick out some good blues rock in a new way, but we'll see. All right. So yeah, Guns N' Roses coming up next week, Supergrass this week. Don't forget to tune in all week. We will be doing our album ranking of Supergrass on Tuesday, favorite songs on Wednesday, a fun side 3 on Thursday. Not to pat our backs, but I've really been liking our side 3 topics lately, and we got some really good ones in the works. And Friday, album of the year. This week is going to be 2014, Joe's favorite year in the history of existence for music. Hyperbole. It's his favorite of the decade. No spoilers there, but. And then, yeah, after that, we'll see. We'll be back at GMA 2 weeks from today. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell for notification. Check out the website. We'll be trying to get some more interesting stuff on there. Maybe some more just fun, casual polls out there for you guys to engage in as well. But yeah, hope you guys have a great week. Let us know also in the comments what you've been listening to. Sometimes you guys give us great recommendations, so appreciate that. Joe, I will talk to you soon, my friend, and have a great week out there, everybody. See you next time.